Good morning, Bridge family. My testimony is not about me. It is about my Father. It is all about my Father, His Son, and His Spirit. I will give you the abridged version this morning, painting with broad strokes, because the unabridged version is for coffee. One other preface is that in most scenarios in life, I compartmentalize well, and I keep my emotions in check. But when it comes to talking about my Father, or singing to my Father about what He has done, it doesn't go so well. There are times when I tremble and I tear up in admiration of Him. This fact my wife and my children will back me up in. I have participated in the great exchange. The only thing that I have offered God is my sinfulness. He has taken all my sins, past, present, and get this, future, and put them on His Son, Jesus. He carried out the judgment against my sin with the death of His Son on the cross. Then, Jesus conquered death with His resurrection. So I turn from my sins in repentance with a broken and a contrite heart. I turn to God. In exchange, He gives me a robe of righteousness. So when I stand before God, He doesn't see my innumerable sins. And trust me, I know me. I know my sins. He sees His Son's righteousness and calls me His son. I have been adopted into His family, essentially returned to Him by Him. Everything that is good in my life is from Him. Other than Christ, the greatest gifts of grace are found in my wife, who epitomizes Proverbs 31. And if you know her well, you know that to be true. And my children, who give me a glimpse of the Father's love for me and the way that I get to love them and watch them grow. I want to live my life in response to what He has done for me with thanks. The verse I try to live my life by with His Spirit is Micah 6:8. I came across this verse nearly 25 years ago when wondering what God wanted from me. And wouldn't you know it, He spells it out quite plainly. It is a verse that is always appropriate and maybe even more obvious in its application here and now. The verse says, He has told you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God? Know that I am convinced in my intellect, with my experiences with the Father, with experiences with His creation, experiences shared by others, that Jesus is who He said He is. He's the Son of God, and He is the only way to the Father. He intercedes for me as my high priest and gives His Spirit to me for power and instruction in who He is. I am constantly learning about my Father, who He is, and what it means to be His Son. When I pray and I use the word Papa to address Him, know that it is a term of endearment, intimacy, and in conjunction, an understanding of a deep respect and awe. I am humbled to be asked to serve as an elder. I ask for your prayers to serve and to serve well. To serve you, to serve Stephen and John, and more importantly, to serve our Father. May it be said of this church here at the bridge, that we boldly proclaim the gospel. And may it also be said of us what is said of Peter and John in Acts 4:13. And they recognized that they had been with Jesus.